shot with a very expensive. No, no, no. There are some scenes there that were actually shot with a smartphone. So yeah, in a way, technically, I have.
If I come back to you, I just want John to answer that question. I'm going to come back to you because I have a follow-up.
Just like Shola, I have shot extra footages in a movie with my smartphone. But I have shot a full commercial with my smartphone.
Oh, wow.
So, guys, we need to interaction. We need to clap for this people, right? So, why I'm going to come back to you is that, was that because of,
It's okay, it's okay.
is it like was it a technical limitation or something, or it was just in that moment moving cameras, logistics or what? What was that?
This client brought the second camera, and we were already in location, and I felt this is just not it for me. And I know that my phone can do better. And I asked, what platform do you want to show this? And he said, YouTube and all of that. I said, good, I'll use my phone. And of course, I shot on high res, ProRes, and all of that, formats. And I think, even if I say so, I think it's beautiful. For the movie, we just did extra footages, and I was out in Enugu, and my producer said, hey, we need this, where are you going to get this? And I said, okay, I could shoot here and this, and how is that? And that's how I sent the footages over, and it worked very well.
That's fantastic.
The most important thing is to understand the formats, so that you don't mix formats and have problems in edit. That's another thing entirely.
Shola, do you want to take that? Was it like a logistic problem or something?
So coming from experience, right? So I think back in the days when I used to work at MTV Base, we had this promo we were supposed to shoot, and what happened was the person that was in charge, this guy from right now, I think he's actually one of the VPs for. I'm trying to remember. He did not do any of that red tape crap. He wanted to shoot an ad for MTV Base, and what he did was he did it guerrilla style. Now, guerrilla style, of course, I'm sure some people know how this works, is it's not necessarily legal, but it's you just basically shooting, scenes, maybe on the street or some particular places, without necessarily getting the permission for this. So my point is, we had an international guy do this, and what he did was he shot an entire ad in Lagos without any permission, and we did it. First of all, we shot at National Theatre, then we shot in the streets of VI, and then we shot when the BRT buses were just fresh, and we shot some places that we were not supposed to shoot. Now, what he just told me was sometimes when you have to get things right, you get things right. So my point is, just to clarify what I'm trying to say here, for the scenes I used for the movie, we basically wanted to shoot at a filling station. But you see, if you go to the filling station and say, please, we would like to shoot here, and they would tell you to get the hell out, and then probably even charge you a lot of money. So what I just did was I got somebody to stand and pretend like I was taking a picture of that person, but then obviously I would tilt my camera phone to just get footage of the filling station. So basically, it wasn't necessarily a budget situation. I was just trying to make sure that, we got what we wanted without actually going through all the red tape crap.
Thank you so much. There's a round of applause for that, please. Still on the filmmaking aspect, right? Do you think that the rise of smartphones have transformed the filmmaking landscape?
Well, absolutely. So if you look at how, with what you have on that smartphone, for example, just how powerful that smartphone is, you realize that for some people buying really expensive smartphones, they are probably not using 10% of its capacity. All they're using it for most times, of course, is for selfies and so on. But if you see the quality of the images, you'd realize there's so much more that can be done. And if you compare just how these smartphones are now compared to how the cameras were from 15 years ago, you realize that they're probably better. For example, if you shoot, let me put it this way, if you shoot Blair Witch Project, which was shot with about $16,000 with a cheap camera, and of course, it made over $150 million at the cinemas. If you shoot Blair Witch Project right now with a phone that you had that came out in 2015, which is basically almost outdated right now, I assure you it would look better than Blair Witch Project. So that's my point. So right now, your smartphones are actually more powerful than some of the cameras that came out from 2004, 2005, or maybe even about that time. So yes, great times right now with smartphones.
Thank you. So I'm going to bring that same question, but I'm going to bring it to you, Edgar, from the content creation aspect, right? We're already shooting content with phones, but even the phones are not just any phones, right? So do you think that the rise of smartphones, because I see young people who say, I want to become a content creator, but I don't have the right phone, you know. Do you think with the rise of smartphones now, that is also transforming how we see content creation?
Well, I feel with
He's the boy.
Please go ahead.
yeah, so I feel with tech and latest like upgrade phones and all that stuff. It's brilliant, yes. However, I always say it's about the story, it's about the style, it's about the edits, it's about collaboration and other things as well. But yes, just like he said, great phones these days will always bring great quality. So yes.
So now, you talked about narrative, right? How do you create compelling narrative, in that short form format, just for the mobile platform? Because that narrative is very important. We see a lot of content that sometimes narrative is a little bit all over the place. So how do you make sure that the technique you use gives you the right narrative that you're trying to put out?
For me, ever since I was in secondary school, I've always had the idea that I was a great storyteller. And for me, it's just mixing storytelling with digital arts. And that is why I'm here today. I think we live in a very dark era where people don't laugh a lot. And so it is always my idea to make sure that whatever you're doing, people are smiling, people are happy. And whatever arts I have, whether it's blog writing or it's video or it's podcasts, I think the idea is I always want to put a smile on someone's face. I think my most challenging content will be social experiments, content that are meant to be as creative as you go on with the content. My pranks. It is always very challenging when you have pranks because you never can tell the extent to the reaction and the response you get from a prank call. So, but how do I go about it? I just go with the flow. And when my spirit tells me that, oh, Edgar, you're doing too much, I calm it down. So I think that sometimes it could get difficult, especially when you have terrible sound from your video or terrible video quality. But for me, I think people enjoy the process. People enjoy the fact that, oh, it's obvious this person is just starting, this person hasn't done so great. People understand that this person doesn't have that money yet, and they enjoy your content. Be the best content creator with whatever device you have. Be the best with whatever device you have. So that's it. So, for example, if I'm going to build something that has to do with comedy, I am thinking, oh, okay, what point do I want them to laugh? What do I want them to react with? What kind of comments am I expecting? And then from there, I build my story. Now, some people use their experiences in life to generate whatever narrative they want to tell. Some people are telling their stories. Some people are telling their stories of their friends. Some people are telling inspirations that they have maybe in the bedroom or wherever. So for me, it's always about telling stories based on the engagement I'm expecting.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think that's something that a lot of people need to understand because it's very important that the narrative is right. This is 2024. We're in the age where we're seeing a bit of content creation marrying filmmaking. So you're seeing content creators translate into filmmaking, and also, there's that switch, right? So my question is to Edgar, John, and Shola, right? What are your thoughts, with the whole transition? So we're seeing people like Sabinus go from content creation to filmmaking, Brother Shaggy, what's the latest? Any with all of us. It was filled with a lot of content creators, right? And so what are your thoughts on that? Because at this point, some people would say that it's becoming a bit similar.
All right. I am so grateful that I get to answer this first because I'm going to defend my people. All right. Just before they say anything, I'll defend my people. So first of all, the movie business is amazing, and these days it's more about the numbers, the fame, the face. You want to put a movie there sometimes where you want a face that would really sell. If you look at some of these movies, I don't want to mention any name, but there are some movies where you see on the poster a popular social media content creator, he's on the poster or the movie. And then you're like, oh, you get to the cinema, I want to watch this film, this guy is there. Only for you to watch the film, maybe the guy is just in the kitchen and he just passes with plates.
all right, and he's not even anywhere important in the whole movie. So, however, what I think is happening is content creators have started to explore. People are dreaming big. They want to do more. They want to just create content outside the social media spaces. They want to own different content ideas, and I don't think that's bad. Are their movies great? Some of them. But again, that is relative, depending on who is watching it.
I'm not a fan of the merger or similarities and all of that. I never used to like skits when it started because I felt it was too unserious for me. I am a very serious-minded person, but with time and over time, realized that short span, people want to see things 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and just get on to the next thing. So you can never equate movies and content creation as the case may be, because they are two different formats. It took time and over time for the movies, the cinemas to get to this level. Smartphone just started. When we begin to have smartphone awards in the Oscars, call me, then I can say, yes, I told you so. No, but for now, let's just leave it as it is. It is what it is on that angle, and it is what it is here. But for me, I think skit makers, content creators can do better. You know, inject a little bit of seriousness in what they do in their craft. Inject a little bit of cinematography, a little bit of better content, a little bit of, you know, all of that the movies has against or for it. And I think it can be better. You know, that's my take, but never, ever.
It's a big opportunity for my film to be selected among the films that are in Lagos Smartphone International Film Festival at the moment. I have 2 films selected. The first of it is Ifepo, and then the second one is Becoming 18. Yes. So the challenge has always been the same with every filmmaker, especially independent filmmakers, you know, funding, getting people, you know, being able to pay actors and all of that. So, of course, this was made independently, and so what that means is that I filmed with all the resources that are available. And so the challenge is, okay, you have to work with the timeline of the people that you're filming and all of those kind of things. And beyond that, it's pretty much the same challenge every filmmaker faces, whether you're using a smartphone or you're using a bigger camera. Okay, so I've been making films with my phone since 2017, and so the challenge is always the same, and which is sound. Of course, we've been able to find a way around it and all of that, and maybe maybe if I want to talk about the errors that I made, it will be in the challenge of sound, because this particular 2 movies, I didn't want to go to the extreme like I would go with sound. I wanted to use the minimal available resources to prove to people that, you know, you can actually do a film with just a smartphone in your pocket. So maybe sound is a little bit of challenge, but beyond that, I mean, it's good.
For most people right now, it's very short. They're like, okay, so when are you going to get to the point? I can assure you, even when it comes to comedy right now, it has changed forever. Because it seems like now, if you're trying to do a funny scene, if you don't have that, all that crap that you put in there, or that sound, you'll be like, oh, is this supposed to be funny? I don't know, I'm not sure. That's because it doesn't have those sounds. And it has changed it forever. However, you know, there's still an opportunity for filmmakers to separate themselves from. Now, this is the deal. We're not trying to look down on skit makers to say, oh no, you guys should. Because what they're doing is great, right? And it's awesome, it's great entertainment. However, I think the structure is too monotonous. It's the same thing, you know, with the skits, with the sound effects and so on. And I mean, I can call out some people. I like, so one of the reasons I like Lai Wasabi, for example, is the fact that he doesn't use any of those soundtracks. Yeah, and I think a lot of people here agree, right? He doesn't use any of those. It's authentic, and also at the same time, you can tell that this is somebody who studied movies or theater, and it actually shows with his products, and you can see that it is taken in places. Because what it looks like for the other skit makers is they're doing the same thing, so you can't tell one person from the other, right? And now with Lai, you're realizing he's traveling, he has more reach. He was recently featured in was it Rolling Stone? Now that's because even for a foreigner watching, they can probably understand and relate. But then if it's the same other ones with the and all those weird, annoying sounds, you're like, okay, this is basic. So filmmakers are not worried about those guys because we're like, all right, you guys keep doing what you're doing. You know, it's still cheap stuff. You know, no, but, however, actually not even however, to add a bit more to it.
Phone. So basically, I use a phone, and when I say challenges, what are the challenges? Well, I think sometimes the phone hangs. Some of the challenges we have is that the phone will hang because of the capacity. Sometimes maybe you have maybe like a 30 minutes, 1 hour video, you know, you have those challenges there. But overall, I still enjoy using my phone, and it's easy. It's very much easy to use.
Using your famous skit makers, you know, to do movies, yeah, it gets you some attention, but then it's still, when it comes to the real filmmaking style, or what you need to do to get your movie along, you're still missing the point. So yeah, even the Eni or like Sabinus, for example, you know, with his most recent movie, I think he learned a hard lesson, realizing that, oh yeah, it's not the same thing. But just to wrap this up, as I said, the ideas, the creativity with the content skit makers, trust me, it's unmatched. There's some I see, there are a lot I see rather, and I'm thinking, wow, how did they think of this? This is crazy, you know. And I might say, oh yeah, you guys, oh it's cheap. But let's be real, if you look at other skit makers outside Nigeria, you'd realize that movies basically beg them, you know, or rather would be like, okay, they actually turn down movies.
Just like what's his name, the French guy that doesn't speak.
Oh yeah, that guy, for example, yeah, if he shows up in your movie, so they put him in movies on purpose because they realize, you know, so yeah, skit makers obviously,
I think the
yeah.
Bad Boy film had him, and I remember.
Yeah, and it was big.
Yeah.
But skit makers don't even need movies, let's be real, they don't, because the money you would make from either YouTube or maybe TikTok, if your stuff actually, the main aim should be, how do I travel? What I mean by travel is, how does my content go beyond the Nigeria, and just appealing to most Nigerians? How does it start appealing to people beyond the shores so that I can have bigger numbers? I think with that, trust me, you don't need Nigerian movies.
All right, thank you. So my next question will be for Moses, right? So from the distribution aspect, you said, Shola mentioned something that was very key. Now, with the content creators making movies now or showing up in feature films, sometimes so people would see from the aspect or maybe trying to attract a certain type of audience or like large numbers. Now, from the distribution aspect of films, what are the things that you would typically look out for that you think, okay, this face will sell markets? Let me speak like my Igbo brothers. You understand what I mean? So what are those things, what are those aspects that you look out for when you're looking at film distribution and how it would go far?
Okay, good morning everyone.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, sorry.
I know.
Okay, I've been in the office busy actually. So, but when it comes to filmmaking, actually, it's a bit similar to content and creation. But this time around, this is serious business.
I like sitting beside you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is serious business. And because it's a business, you have to be very intentional. Because Nigeria, as we have it, the market here in Nigeria, it's hugely driven by the cast you utilize the film. So sometimes, if you can't get the big players, you go for the content creators who are also popular. So it's just a sweet blend of cast just to get the attention that and the awareness you need. For film distribution, it's more about making the money at the box office. For content creators, kind of.
Sorry, let me just stop you there and ask you a very critical question, right? You're talking about it from the money aspect now. When we're talking about the film aspect from it now, is it the decision of the director or the producer to say, okay, let's infuse some of this content because it will give us money, or is the distributor, for instance, because we hear cases like that where the distributor insists that this person will sell our film. So I also would love to hear from that perspective as well.
I think it's mostly the decision of the producer. But before you go out to make a film, there is a mindset you have. Every filmmaker wants to make money. It's not a joke. If If I want to just entertain the crowd, I could as well do content and post it for free. Everybody watch. Every filmmaker that go out there to make a film is out to make money. So, and because they are out to make money, they find ways that can help their film and also get the attention they need to sell. For filmmakers, like I said, the major concern is my content strong enough to drive people to go to the cinema and pay such a amount of money to see that content? For content creators, they don't have that worry. You put it on social media, if it's good enough, people just see it, laugh. Some people even stumble on the content, just like it. Some people, maybe they are just swiping their phones and they get to see this content. So it's a different ball game. So, but for filmmakers, it's the intentionality. They're very intentional because they're out to make that money.
Thank you so much. A round of applause, please. So, my question is for John, right? So we're in an era where, you need to grab the attention of your audience, to keep them invested. I'm sure everybody here, we've seen movies that's 10 minutes into it or 15 minutes into it, we're like, what is this? Or if you're like me, sometimes, like, I fast forward movies just to get to the point, like, what is it? What are we saying, right? How do you capture and maintain the attention of the audience in your films?
Okay, firstly, let me mention one mistake that most filmmakers do, and that's the fact that they always want to join the bandwagon. He has done a fantastic film, and I feel I can do what he's done because he has sold millions, and so I want to do it. Not knowing that what you have, your story as perceived, is even better than his. So for me, I'll say be very intentional story. You can identify a good story from a bad story, and in most cases, stories are very good on paper. Also, get the right team to actualize your vision. Because you can have a fantastic story, but your director doesn't have the drive or that means of interpretation to take your story to the next level. And we have friends as filmmakers. Do not think that you can do this by yourself. Get your story, get people to read the script, and you guys have a conversation and dissect the story. And always produce your story from the bottom of your heart as you perceive it. As John, I'm a sucker for good stories, and I always like to flip the script. I recently finished a production. It's a love story, but with a twist. And the love story has a question. Before now, we have hunks, fall in love with Barbies and all of that. And the question for me that made for the twist is, what if a fat girl, no offense, falls in love with this hunk? What are the odds? How can they, what will bring them together? And I think, even if I say so myself, I told a very good story. So by and large, be very perceptive, be very intentional, be very deliberate, be very professional, and always get the right people to tell your story. If I don't get a good vibe from people I'm casting to tell my story, I won't work with you. There has to be some form of understanding, some form of vibration, some form of spiritual connection, if I should say that, before I work with you. Because most people come on set and they are divas. They want to do the superstar thing. No, you won't work for me. I want to tell stories with people that are on the same level with me, the same understanding with me, and the same wavelength with me.
Thank you.
If you want to clap, it's just can't. Thank you.
So I'm going to come to you, Edgar. So there's been a couple of subtle diss here and there as content creators. Well, sadly, just take it up, We say it's a bit easy creating content, but we know in reality it's really not easy, right? So one of the things that I wanted you to address is, the social media platforms that you use in distributing your mobile content and the strategies that you've implemented to build a loyal audience, because you have that. Now, as much as we want to talk down and say, the content creator, the skits, like Shola has said, with all the sounds, it's still a lot of work, right? It's still a lot of work. So please take us through that. That's a form of entertainment and media. And there are also some content creators with different types of content that I've also found very enlightening and very informative as well. So please take us through how you've gone ahead to build a loyal audience and even the challenges that the typical content creator would go through.
All right. Sorry.
Who screamed that? Ew?
Yes. So, first of all, it is not easy. It is not easy at all. I started creating content 2015. 2015. And trust me, nothing really happened until 2020. And in that 2015, there are days you would wake up with 3,000 followers. You sleep the next day, 2,800. The third day, 3,200. And you're worried because social media content creation is a numbers game. You see people celebrate 1 million followers and they will not even celebrate their birthday. It happens like that. It is a numbers game. People want to have more numbers because for some people, it channels into money. For some people, it's prestige. It's a numbers game. And just like he said, it's a collaborative effort. You will be crazy. And trust me, in content creation, crazy is not a wrong word. You'll be crazy to think that you can do it on your own. You will be crazy to do that. There are people that have, but you'll be crazy to do that. Sometimes you need the right people, you need the right energy around you. You need people who believe in you. And I think for me, what has really worked is I always tell people what I do when I have the opportunity to. If I'm having a conversation with someone, I try to say what I do and, get your number. I was talking to someone one time about growing their network. And I said, for me, the real way to grow your network, if you really don't understand, is just getting phone numbers of people around you. The numbers you can get on your phone, it would really help. Even that policeman that is collecting bribe, if you have his number, trust me, there is a level that number will get you to when there are issues. All right, so for me, what really happened, just straight to the story, I studied theater at the University of Lagos. I started for 2014, and that period, you had a lot of people come around the department often. Brother Shaggy was in my department at the time, and you can imagine, this was 2014. I would walk past to my class, and I'll see him trying to shoot skits with his phone. I would just laugh at him and say, what kind of nonsense is this? This was 2014, and this guy probably brilled maybe like 2018, thereabouts. So it's not easy. This guy would roll on the ground, jump up and do different things, and would just laugh, So what happened that period was you had lots of people come around the department. Sometimes filmmakers will come to the department and say, we need a lady who can do this, we need a guy, we need that guy, we need that lady, and then you just get more opportunities. So what I wanted to do was, because ever since I was born, I've always been a troublemaker, all right? And troublemakers are people that either can fight or they can talk, and I cannot fight, so I can talk. So a lot of time you just see me talking, telling stories, and I'm telling stories to people. And then one time around, there was a friend of mine, Steve Chooks, Cleopatra, we were also classmates at the time. He just said, oh, Edgar, you know what? I think Femi Bakre owns Cracks TV. Like, I think Femi Bakre would like to see you around, You're always talking and all that. So we went to see Femi, and then Femi, of course, he just liked my idea. He liked what I said. And then, of course, sometimes one thing you always have to understand is, at some point in your career, you will feel cheated at some point, but really you are not. So that period, Femi always tell me, you know what, if you can get funny ideas online, send it to me. And also what I'll do is I'll send 10, out of the 10, I'll put 2 of my own inside, just check it out. And then he'll sometimes post my content and all that. And when I meet more people, started chatting with Yaba Left Online. And one secret, yes, is the world is huge. As you're creating your content, people would not just find you. It's not like you just put it out there and people would see it. However, as you are sharing it to your friends, share it to people, if I decide to say, you know what, I want to share it to everybody in this room, you can imagine the amount of people I would get. So that's your neighbor. Share it to your neighbor, your friend, put it on your WhatsApp, tell everybody about what you're doing, and you never can tell. And one way to really get people like Cracks, Yaba Left, all these guys to really follow or like your content is go through their following. There is a reason why Cracks or Yaba Left or Tunde Not is following certain amount of people. It means there is a relationship somewhere. So what you can do is, if you can't get to that person, go to their following. Go to all, just look through. There was a time I wanted to do something for Honeywell, and I was trying to get Honeywell. Of course, at that time, I didn't know that if you send Honeywell a DM, you're probably sending it to an agency. I thought it was Honeywell that would see it. So what I decided to do was I went through their following, and I went to look at all the people they are following, and I just saw one fine girl. Just one fine girl with about 2,000 followers. And I started to chat her. And after a while, I was able to build a relationship. And from there, I was like, oh, I'm trying to do something for, noodle brand and everything. I was just talking. And she was like, you can do it for Honeywell now. I'm like, do you know them? Yeah, I know that. Okay. And I'll connect me now. So that person now becomes my network. So that's how it goes. It's a long story. Yeah, but that's it.
Thank you so much. So just something very critical you mentioned, which even with the Honeywell story, it's also partnership. Can you guys hear me? Oh, this might test me and it be like say waste. We with those of us that studied the theater, there's something they call projects. You should have the loudest voice. Anybody from the back should hear you without the mic. So there's something very critical you said, which is partnership and collaboration. And this question is for everyone. And one of the things I wanted to find out is, how do you collaborate? How do you collaborate and partner to make sure that the film or the content or the message you're trying to pass to your target audience in that moment is right?
All right. Yeah, for me, I think it's simple. First of all, you reach out. It is okay, and you need to understand there are some people will tell you no. However, just share your values. All right, share the idea that you have. Listen to what they are offering, and understand the terms that work with the other person. Now, some people, some content creators will tell you, "Oh, I would only collaborate with you if you have 1 million followers." Don't feel bad. It's okay. That's fine. Just look for other people or send more. Just keep sending more messages. However, one thing I know that has worked for me is I tell the story I have in mind through voice notes instead of writing it. And I'll tell you why. Now, it's not about my voice. Okay.
I was about to say.
No, it's not about my voice. The reason why I always send voice notes sometimes to other content creators is because when people get to read, especially if you're not great at writing your emotions or writing stories well, when people get to read what your idea, sometimes they get to interpret it differently. But when you have, you tell it by voice notes, they understand the emotion with the voice or the story. They're able to understand better what you're about to do or what you're trying to do. Now again, if they say no, it's fine. Keep building your own platform. If it's yes, fine. If they say no, it's okay to ask why. All right? Sometimes when you're trying to collaborate with people, they say no. You don't ask why. You just move on. Understand why it's a no. If it's an exclusive brand, they don't want to do anything with you, it's fine. So you understand better. And then if they say, oh, you need more numbers, fine. But again, I always try to tell people that, of course, if I have the opportunity and they ask me right now, who do you want to collaborate with, I'll probably mention someone like 10 million followers, that's 20 million followers. But I think it's beautiful to always collaborate with people around, people that are also growing as well, because it's a numbers game. If I collaborate with 20 people that have 5,000 followers, I know there is more credit than just one person that says no. So it's about just going around, making sure that you're meeting more people. And that's it.
So, please clap now. You're drinking, no, we're not drinking anything. I saw someone passing popcorn around. So, John, from the film aspect.
From the film aspect, I think... What's going on? I think it's a lot different, and collaboration indeed is the way to go, because over the years and even in recent times, you realize that Miramax collaborates with me and all of that. On the low level and on the high level, let me talk about young filmmakers now. You have a friend that is a very good writer, and you have another friend that his mother has a few connections. You probably have a friend that is a very good director. What are you guys waiting for? Put heads together and make a good film. Start with your phone. Start with your smartphone. One of you, out of the four of you, one of you should have a good phone, maybe an iPhone or something. Shoot a film. Shoot a short film. Put it out there. There's several film festivals out there. That's collaboration on the low level. Recently, I did a movie with two friends of mine. One, Novo, he has connections for the money. And I am a damn good director, hey. And we had another friend.
I mean, you should be clapping now, guys.
We have another friend that is a producer, and he has all the gadgets and all the technical know-how. And we just said, let's do something. And we did a movie called Kisom. As we speak, Kisom has been to Cameroon International Film Festival. He has been to Chad Film Festival. He has been to several film festivals. Bayelsa International Film Festival just got, for October. So collaboration is the way to go on the high level and on the low level.
So I think he's basically said it all as far as collaborating. Most times you realize that some people would think, okay, you know what, I'd rather do it myself. I'm sure I can handle it all by myself. But in all honesty, I really believe that Nollywood would actually get further ahead if there was a lot more, if people were collaborating a lot more, if there were a lot more partnerships. However, it just seems like there's just a lot of beef in the industry, Everybody's trying to show each other out. Yeah, trust me, of course, I'll be controversial, you know me. But yes, it seems like that is always the case, unfortunately, especially in Nollywood, when the truth is everybody just has to collaborate, because the truth is the guy that says he wants to direct, or the guy that says he wants to, let me just put it this way, everybody wants to be a director. Everybody's like, yeah, let me be the director. When the truth is maybe your best, your abilities are in maybe just handling the camera, right? So you handle the camera, get somebody that you feel can direct and partner with that person. And you'd realize, you guys would make really solid material. Even when it comes to money or trying to split, or rather the amount of money you make, and you're worried about, oh, what if, this money comes in and I have to split it with so many people. If you do it by yourself, chances are maybe maybe you make 20,000, right? You collaborate, you make about 300,000. And now what happens, collaborated with three people, you all split 100,000 as opposed to the 20,000 you were going to make. So collaboration is key. And as I said, I'll say it again, I believe very strongly that the industry in general would be further ahead if a lot more people were collaborating.
Thank you. No, so to Moses, right? So Moses, one of the things I want you to do when answering the collaboration conversation is, John mentioned something, which is the festivals, film festivals. How important are these film festivals when it comes to even collaborations? Because with some of the film festivals, some of them might not require some of the big budgets that people might need for premieres and cinema viewing. So can you take us through that whole collaboration and why festivals like this one are important, especially for aspiring filmmakers?
Okay, what we always advise mostly upcoming filmmakers is to first of all make the money. She hits 1 billion in box office, but she has started way back with most of our content. Jennifer.
So sorry to cut you.
Okay.
You see, you just mentioned content. I'm side eyeing John a bit with,
No, but yeah, I get. But what I'm trying to drive is, over time, she has built her audience to a level where now she puts her content out there and people go and patronize her. So what I tell people is, explore every option available to you depending on the level that you are. When I mean explore, you don't have Funke Akindele's fund to make a movie and be like her. Leave her lane. Find the pond you can swim in and swim in it. I don't know if you understand. If you have 5 million to do a movie, utilize that 5 million well, do that movie well. Ensure that your craft is exceptional in that 5 million. Then go to the festivals. The festival will will open their arms and accept you because they want to show forth your craft. When it comes to the business side, sometimes it's funny. A good film might not actually make good money on the box office. Now, for the business side, it's dependent on the people, what the people want to see, understanding your market. For instance, in Nigeria, movies that do well in Nigeria are your action movie, your drama, and your comedy, in a sense. But the primary one is the action and drama, basically in Nigeria. So if you want to come or make money in the box office in Nigeria, you can't be doing a horror title in Nigeria and you come to cinemas, you want to make money. You wouldn't make it. The movie might actually be good, but it's not the right market. So what I say is, identify your pond and swim in it, regardless of the budget you have at hand. If you can play with the big players, play. If you can play with the small players, play. So with the concept of collaboration, filmmaking is a complex blend of creativity, technology, and your cultural ideas, even the economic aspect. So I tell people, 20% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So most of the challenge we have with producers these days, they want to brag. It's my film. I'm the one that have the film. Like, I did the thing myself. But collaborate. Your collaboration can be your script, it can be your film, but you can just have 10% in it. But that 10% would speak louder than your 100% if you're doing it alone. So that's just what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be opening the floor for questions very soon, but to the filmmakers, John and Shola, what are the top 3 things what are the top 3 advice and the critical tools or knowledge that you would give to aspiring filmmakers, right? I'm asking because Shola went from being a broadcaster who would knock down people's movies. Yes, though. I'm trying to be, let me be nice. Criticize films and then became a filmmaker yourself, right? So I'm sure that transition was a little bit different because maybe now you're there, you could see some of the challenges that the filmmakers would go through. So for an aspiring filmmaker, what are the top 3 things they should take note of and the necessary tools that they need to just keep building?
Okay, so to address the knockdown, so one of the things that has always worked for me, first of all, is passion. So a lot of people, obviously, some people would want to go into it because they believe they will make money. And that's not a bad reason to actually want to go into filmmaking. But one of the things that you definitely need is passion. Now, the reason I say passion is there are times when it actually is going to look like it's impossible. There are times when everything that's supposed to go wrong in the process of you trying to make this movie will go wrong. But what will actually keep you focused, laser focused, is passion. So the passion obviously entails the passion to actually just want to do something right, do a good movie, a passion for movies itself. And I guess maybe, to address, the being a critic, that was basically always my thing. Like, so it wasn't like I wanted to just, talk about movies because I felt like I wanted to. I'd been writing reviews for movies since 2002 on a website called movies.com for foreign movies. So while everybody else was in the cyber cafe, basically, sourcing for dollars, what I was doing, however, was I was just, critiquing movies, foreign movies and so on. And so when it came to Nollywood, I figured obviously to get us to the next place, it is important that we just try to take the step forward. And I think one of the things I tried to do most importantly, and I feel like that's what separates me, or that's what separated me when it came to being a movie critic, was it wasn't just about pointing at the issues. Because I believe in this concept of if there's a problem and you want to if you want to point out a problem, at least have a solution. So what I always did was I would say, okay, here are your issues, but here's how you can fix it. So in doing that, and also in doing movies as well, is to say, okay, first of all, with even the movie I didn't have all the budget available. All right, I'll be very honest. And also I can say this here because, hey, we're all G's. For the movie I made, I was offered some money to say, you know what, dude, we'll pay you for this. We'll pay you as director, but obviously we'll own the rights to the movie. But I said, I turned the money down. It was a lot of money, but I turned it down because I wanted to make the movie myself. And obviously passion was what overtook, whatever happened. And I'm still, till today, I'm still glad that I made that decision. So passion, and also the need to learn. You need to just keep learning every day on set from, not on set rather, learning every day different things, learning on YouTube. You have YouTube. YouTube has all the answers. A lot of people actually don't know, but if you spend a year on YouTube, you can teach yourself how to direct from top to bottom. This movie made by these guys, I was nominated for an Oscar and won and cleared Everything Everywhere All at Once. They learned how to edit and do those special effects on YouTube. And then even the most recent one, Godzilla -1, the director edited and did the special effects himself. Where did he learn? YouTube. So the thing is, I don't know if he learned on YouTube, but I know about the Everything Everywhere All at Once. But my point is, just keep learning. You can do all this by yourself. And one of the people that I know understands this as well is Quentin Tarantino, who is arguably one of the best directors of all time. And something he says is, look, everybody can make film. You just have to want to know and learn and keep learning. And finally, my final, one of the things you need to know finally from the three is, do not be afraid to get advice or just show your movie. Ask people. Don't be too attached to your movie, right? Because half the time, you'd realize that, yes, your passion, you've learned a lot of things, but then when it comes to cutting out some things that don't make sense or adjusting your script that doesn't make sense, when it comes to doing all of those things, you'd realize that if you're over-attached and you're not open to criticism or open to other people telling you, oh, let's try it this way or let's try it that way, you'd find yourself just making something that's not exactly the best. So yes, have your passion, learn, and then most importantly, be open to advice and criticism. Right.
Thank you.
Everything he has said and more. But basically, so I like to give this advice, and I call them the factors of the many D's. Number 1 D, dream big. You need to dream big if you want to make it in this industry. And he talked about passion. You can never get into this industry without being passionate about what you want to do in the first place. So when you have found your niche, and you're passionate, dream big. And you must have a strong drive. Okay, yes, you have this dream and hopes and aspirations and all of that, but if you don't have that drive, you can never move forward, literally. You need to drive yourself forward. Okay, so I can drive, but how determined are you? Okay, so you need to be very, very determined about failing, about getting it right, about learning, about staying focused in whatever you want to do as a cinematographer, as a producer, as a director, as a filmmaker, basically. Years back in this industry of ours, when they couched it Nollywood, I don't like that word, by the way. I'm just a Nigerian filmmaker, not Nollywood. I left Nollywood because I was hungry for more, and Nollywood was not giving me that thing. So I pitched my tent in South Africa, came back, I started doing stuff, I started learning. And Tintel today, I was one of the first directors of Tintel. My nomination, so to speak, came from South Africa, what I'd done there. And they suggested me for something that Nigerians were doing. And so I started directing Tintel. What am I trying to say? Do not relent, really. Just keep pushing, keep having the drive, and equally learn to be different. Do not join the bandwagon and be, drowned in all of that. So stay focused, be determined, have a strong drive, and I'm sure you will get there somehow.
So I feel we've covered that, but then when it comes to the business side of things, the three things, I definitely feel he'll be able to answer those questions. Yeah, because I think we missed that. So what are the three things? Because he will tell you all these things. We've mentioned passion, you mentioned one, this is like, will it make money? I feel he probably would have some alternate suggestions.
Okay, you want to set me up. Well, it's okay. So, passion, like you said, is important. But when it comes to making the money, there are also other very important things. And one of them is understanding your market. Understanding your market. The kind of content or kind of movie you create is dependent on how well it's received by the audience you're putting it out there for. So yes, you're passionate, but if you're passionate doing something that is not acceptable, I'm afraid you keep losing till maybe over time people start accepting that. So it's not, I'm not saying don't be passionate, but be passionate with the right insight of the market at which you operate in. I don't know if that's clear. Be passionate with the right insight of the market through which you're operating in. For instance, you're passionate about, let's say you're passionate about a kind of a category of movie. For instance, you're passionate about, let's say, the horror. Let me just use the horror title because it's a growing market here in Nigeria. And most of your stories are within that horror space. Now, it's good if you keep bringing out content in the horror space to grow the interest of that market. But really, if you're doing that project, just have it at the back of your mind that you are likely to lose. It's a different ballgame. But if you want to make the money, look at what it's in vogue currently. Look at what is happening. So that's how you actually make the money. Thank you.
I know this is not a back and forth session and all that, but you agree with him? You agree with me?
The reason I had to ask, or the reason I had to point it towards him, is because it was important for everybody learning to also hear that as well. Because even in Hollywood, you'd realize that somebody who has been able to mix passion and making money, out of all the millions of directors, especially somebody who's able to do that and make the Oscars, make an amazing money, and then make an amazing movie and then make money, there are very few. And then one of them is Christopher Nolan. So that's one of the reasons I had to bring him up.
Okay, quickly. A few years ago, someone walked up to me and said he wants me to produce a movie for him, and he wants to make money and this and that. He had lots of money, and I said, okay, I cannot guarantee that you make lots of money, but what I will guarantee is that I will make a good film for you, because you cannot sell what you don't have, and you have all the monies to make this film, but you don't make a good film at the end of the day. For the distributors, cinema distributors, I think they missed it sometimes. And why do I say that? Gone are the days when the cinemas used to be filled with just comedies. And he's right. They just want to make their money, however it is. And I think that notion is totally wrong for me. You know, we've had this talk several times on different platforms and all of that. But I think there are ways you can mix fantastic works with making money. I think it's very possible. You don't make money because you don't distribute bad works because certain people are in it. Yes, it's a money-making thing for you, but I think we can have an understanding and reach an agreement where you are telling the cinema goers, so to speak, that come and watch good films. We have good films. You know, a lot of people go to watch bad films because of how badly reported it was. So let me go and see that bad film. And you make the numbers and you think you're doing us a favor. No. So I think we can strike a balance between distributing what you know are good films and what you know are commercial films. I'm just saying.
You want to say something?
Well, I get you correctly. So, when it comes to this industry, there is no absolute. Now, be passionate as much as you can. Do your thing, but also understand your market. And when I'm saying understand your market, it varies. Now, if I want the fame, if you want to make the fame as a producer, cinema is not all that is. I don't know if you get. You can make your fame, your fame. Even YouTube can give you the fame you need as a producer, can take you out there, can give you that audience that you need. You can start with YouTube and grow into cinema. I don't know if you get. But what I'm saying is, when you're coming to cinema, understand that the cinema space is a high budget environment, very technical, very standard. So sometimes we say, if you're going to come to the cinema, be very intentional that you are out there to make money, because the cost of production of that content to come to the cinema is going to drain you. So if you don't have the mindset of making that money and always driven by passion, yes, you can get a good film, but at the end of the day, is a whole lot of money spent and you're not able to have good return on investment. So that's just.
So just a quick question, content creators. What are the key things, the top 3 things to know, to have, and just how do they keep going?
First of all, filmmakers. Anyway, all right. I don't want to mention God or mention your goal, because I believe that every human being should, one way or the other, have a goal in life. If not, life gives you a goal. And, respect and honor something, whether God or believe in something. So I don't want to mention those 2. I think they're very important, by the way. So the 3 I would say, the first one is stay consistent and be active. 2 different things, but important. I will put them as one. What does consistency mean? Basically, it means don't confuse us and don't confuse the machine. If we know you're always bringing out content every Monday, if that's what you can do, please just be giving us on Monday. Don't worry. You would grow. Yeah, maybe not so fast, but yeah, you will grow. If it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just be giving us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's just be seeing your content. When Brother Shaggy started, Brother Shaggy, Steve Chooks, and a couple of people, they were giving us content. Shaggy started with content every day. One content every day, one content every day. The day he stopped, people started saying, how far, where is this content? I did not drop content for us. They did not say, oh, he used to give us every day, let's just let it go. It's because that is the consistency they understand him with. So I always tell people, it's not about doing content every single day. No, it's about just telling us, this is me, this is my style, and this is what I want to be dropping every single time. Now, it's also very important that you not confuse the machines or the systems, because the algorithms also understand these things. When they see that you're always dropping a particular time, a particular minute, or a particular day, they understand as well, and it helps you as well. So I would say understand the content, understand all the, when to release your content and stay consistent. Another thing I would say in that number 1 is be active. Be out there. So if you're not posting your content, just sometimes just post your videos on your story. Let people just know you're alive, you are well, you're always there. Keep talking, keep following trends. Just keep doing stuff. Yes, maybe that isn't the content you always want to do, but while you're creating your content, the special content you have, just do other things. If there's a trend, try. Just do it. It's okay. That is one. Now, the second thing I also think is very important is networking. And I think networking, like I already said, is more about just connecting with other people, coming out there, getting numbers and just growing that number base that you have. For example, if I get his number and I give him a phone call, even if I start disturbing him from now to next year, please put me in one film, he will just say, okay, you're not that funny, but I'll try. I'll put you in one scene. You understand what I'm saying? So but guess what? That is only possible because I have his number. So again, it is very important that you can get numbers of people. Short story. So the man who lives opposite my house is a police officer. I just collected his number, just because I just feel it's good to have someone like that on your phone. There was a day I was on the road and then some police had stopped me and there was an issue. I just called this guy and the first thing I said was, Daddy, this is not my father. I just said, Daddy, they've arrested your son. And he's like, who is that? That is me, Edgar. They've arrested your son. I said, give it to them. And he was able to help out as a police officer. That is only because I have his number. Sometimes some people just want to have, if it's not Wizkid, if it's not Davido, they don't understand that the people around you can connect you to those people. So it's important that you grow your network. Go outside, party more, or go for more events.
Go for more events. Okay, the reason why I'm saying this is a lot of us content creators, we spend so much time indoor trying to write, trying to create. We forget that that is not just everything about content creation. You need to spend more time out there. You need to go out some more. If everyone here shares their story of one great thing that happened to them, you would realize that most of these great stories happened when they were outside. They met great people outside. So spend time, put it on your calendar. Okay, every Saturday or 2 Saturdays in the month, I want to just go out. I want to just spend more time outside. You never can tell who you will meet and what happens. And then finally, I think another thing you also need to do is collaborate. Collaboration is huge. And collaboration in two ways. For content creation, collaboration in two ways. Collaboration with other content creators and collaborations with amplifiers. So amplifiers are basically the people who have the numbers, but they don't create content. So for example, the Tunde Nuts, the Cracks, the Yabba Lefts, and there are a couple of, Wahala Network and all the Red Pulse. So it's very important that you try your best to, look for ways you can get your content there, because these guys are amplifiers. They will help you get your numbers. They will help you get your content to grow as well. And finally, just understand the way the network works. There are some networks that would do better when your content is very short. That is why they started creating features like Reels and the rest of them. Some content, your content will thrive better when you have sound in it, like sound design. Some of them, you expect long content. Also, I think I just add this, I don't know if you have a question like that, but this is very important. If it's comedy, if you're creating comedy and not drama, some people say, theater, we say comedy or tragedy. But with content like that, with media content, you can say comedy, drama, and all the rest. But if you're creating comedy, you need to understand how the eyes work. The eyes, for people who watch comedy, the eyes operates differently. Now, what I mean is this. If it's tragedy, simple story, a guy's heart was broken, he's in the bathroom, there's a shower, he's crying his life out. The camera can just stay on that guy in that position for a long time, and you are connected with him, all right? And then you're just watching. I'm talking about content, not film, content, not film. Social media content. All right, so the audience can just stay and watch because, you're trying to tell something emotional, just put some background. The guy just crying, that can happen, all right? But with comedy, it's not like that. The reason is because the eyes must keep moving. The eyes must keep going everywhere. That's why you see some of the times, some people just have some cuts. You have close-up, medium, wide, short. Because the way the eyes moves with comedy is you need to always raise the mind. Let's just keep enjoying things that are happening. So make sure that the cameras keep moving. So there are other techniques as well. But I just wanted to mention that. So those are the three major ones that we give. And yeah, that is it.
A round of applause for our panelists. So our final question for the panelists before we come to the audience. We are at Lagos International Smartphone and Film Festival. Can you hear me? Okay. So my question to everyone on this panel is, where do you see the future of mobile filmmaking heading? So what are the new technologies that we're excited about, or the trends? And this applies to the content creators and also the filmmakers.
I think the future is huge. And I would say that because you already have apps like Filmic Pro, you already have apps like CapCut that are doing amazing things. It's amazing what we are witnessing right now with the kind of videos people are creating. You watch Apple's launch and you see the amount of things they are creating for movies, in their devices. So it's huge. However, just like he mentioned earlier, it is important that as content creators, we take our time to use these devices to their full potentials. A lot of times we just want to, if it's not a filter, we're not good, But your phone can do way more than it's doing right now. So just take your time, like he said, watch YouTube videos, try things, tweak things, and trust me, in the next 5 years, only experts will tell. It's 5 years a long time. In the next 2 years, only experts will be able to tell this was shot on a camera and this was shot on a movie. Only a few people. And that is huge. That is very huge. Yeah.
Thank you. John?
All that he has said and more. Yeah, it's a given that our smartphones can do a lot, and I don't think, like Shola said, that we've utilized 20% of what our phones can do. But my advice is this. I think there are ways we can marry what our phones can do and what stories we want to tell. In filmmaking, there's something called the mise en scene, where your cinematography meets your content and your content meets the actors and all of that. Everything just comes together as one. So the future for me is learn to tell stories with your camera. Learn to tell whatever content you're creating with your camera in sync, in tandem, in agreement with what the camera can do. He said something about, it's a cliche. He just, because it's content, it's skit, just put the camera there and that's it. No, I think we can begin to do what professional cameras can do, because we have editing softwares that can do all the cuttings and all of that. So be very intentional with your composition. Be very intentional with your angles. Be very intentional with whatever story you want to tell. Because psychologically, long angles tell the story. Short, close up tell the story. Wide angle tell the story. So know what the kind of stories you want to tell with what the camera affords. So know when to go close, know when to come out, and all of that. Just mix. There should be an agreement between the story you're telling, basically, and what the camera can do. Again, what's this clap? Yeah, don't just clap.
So yes, as she asked, Lagos International Smartphone Film Festival, it is the future, right? And the reason I say this also is, I'm sure back in the days, your classic directors probably told you as well, look, digital can never replace film. Obviously, film is the more strenuous processes that people were making movies back then, with the way they had to use, reels and so on. It was very stressful. And then they would tell you, oh yes, digital was never going to replace film. And maybe they're right in some cases, but right now, because of platforms like Netflix, and if you look at the kind of movies Netflix make, a lot of their movies look more digital. So in a way, they're phasing out even just film. And then if you're trying to shoot anything to look digital, I assure you, you're closer to getting digital with your smartphone than you are with, proper 35mm film cameras. So it is the future. And if you notice right now with Netflix, their resolution is like this. This is what their resolution is. This is 1920 by 280, right? So this is their resolution right now. If you put or if you open Netflix on your phone, this is it. It fills up your entire phone. Back in the days, what we had was it was the square. It was 4x3 exactly, and it's evolved to this. So what I mean by that, in all essence, is with smartphones, don't be surprised if maybe in another 3-4 years, what you'll have is, I think John mentioned before, like until they have a category for best smartphone film, don't be surprised at the Oscars. They might actually, of course, they're very snobbish, so it's never happened. but it is very possible for smartphone films, very possible, to become a thing. So, you should respect this, because the truth is, it could be the future. And what it could also entail is it will get you to be able to find out just how far you can take your creativity in your pockets. Because there's no way iPhone is not already making apps that could actually just replicate what you can do with your Da Vinci or basically, expensive Blackmagic 6K cameras.
All right. I think all they've said and more to join what John has said. But for me, in the interesting times ahead, very interesting times, and it comes with the advantage, also comes with the challenges. For instance, of course, the phones coming out now are very technical and highly defined, other than what we used to know. Now, and in addition to that, we also have the advent of AI, which has made a lot of creativity easier. So what that will lead to will be a more creative dynamics for film creators. And low cost in equipment in terms of filmmaking because our phones are evolving. And because you have low cost in equipment in filmmaking, you have lots of content flooding the market. It's going to be a madhouse. So the question would now be, how does your content stand out? So yes, we know smartphones are evolving, but now it will not be the true test of your talent. Because now the attention span is getting thinner and thinner. So with the advantages it brings comes the challenge. The question to filmmakers is, in as much as you're happy or ready for the advantage, are you prepared for the challenges it brings? Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause for our panelists. And we're here at the Lagos International Smartphone and Film Festival 2024. The idea behind the festival was basically to showcase young filmmakers who are into mobile filmmaking generally. I mean, we're in 2024. This is with the technology has evolved, and so people are no longer just making movies in front of their big cameras. They're also using their smartphones, and the idea was to also showcase that versatility in the film industry and just generally explore what we can do with our smartphones, and also fuse that with what is going on right now in the filmmaking industry.
Overall best filmmaker.
Winner goes to Oladipo Ofre. Oladipo Ofre.
This is beautiful. I want to thank the organizers of the International Smartphone Film Festival. I want to say to you, everyone here, that this is, I've been to many film festivals, and I can say that LISFF is genuine. Like, they actually honor hard work in smartphone filmmaking, and there's no gimmick, there's no man. It's basically it's based on how the feel merits. Thank you very much, and this is to the glory of the Almighty God, and I want to thank everybody that worked on the project. If I work with me, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
One of the major discussions is as regards to the smartphones to help young filmmakers be able to monetize their content. So, and one of the major things we advise, I basically advise as a film distributor, is first understand your market. Understand your market, the audience through which you want to sell your content to, and identify the channel through which you want to sell your content. Identify your channel. It could be YouTube, it could be Netflix, it could be Amazon, it could be the theater space. So identify that channel. So, and also plan before you commence production, because it's very important. If you are able to identify this channel and you're able to identify your audience, so it helps you streamline the kind of content you want to make, so that you ensure that you have a good return on investment, regardless of the competitive content out there.
Mr. Moses Omana, clap now. These are the people that make things work. When you watch Silverbird Television, all the things that happen behind camera, you know, this is our head of production. And he makes sure that everything comes out nice. Please, you can do better now. Thank you. Mr. Moses, please. So Mr. Moses will be presenting the award for Best Use of Smartphone.
And the winner is Morun Oluwa Ajayi. Is that your name, right?
Made by Oprah. Please let me applaud him. And also Lagos International Smartphone Film Festival. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Congratulations. Please a round of applause for Mr. Moses. Thank you so much.
Okay, at first,
it was just, I just loved everything. It was first acting for me. Just to be an actress, I just had to act. Then I met my mentor. Long story. But then I met my mentor, and we had a smartphone and fat phone filmmaking, like a workshop. So that's where I attended the workshop, and then from then I just started to love what he does. He's a director and he's a cinematographer, and I just started to like it. Before I got to the workshop, I determined that, God, I just want to become a filmmaker. So when I got to the workshop, we had a few guests. The way they spoke about smartphone filmmaking, as I didn't even know anything about smartphone filmmaking. It was just normal filmmaking for me. So the filmmaking was basically about smartphones. So when I got there, I was like, wow. So with this phone, I can actually do something. I don't have to bring out Canon, Nikon, or Alexa, all those big cameras to make film. I can do something with my phone. So I was like, wow. So I would like to try this out. So that was basically it for me. With the help of my mentor, that's why it's good to have somebody that can direct you, that can teach you, that can guide you. So he encouraged me, my family members, my friends, who encouraged me that you can do this. So at first I was like, God, I may go, all those kind of things. But then with their help, with their encouragement, and with the help of God, most importantly, I was able to okay, let's just try this thing. Let me just try it, and then that was it. So I'd like to say a big thank you to my family members, my parents, my mentor, Made by Fresh, and a big thank you to Lagos International Smartphone Filmmaking Festival. Thank you very much. I'm so honored to have this. Thank you.
At the count of 3, we say Lagos International Smartphone Film Festival. Can we do that with all excitement in our belly? 1, 2, 3, go! Lagos International Smartphone Film Festival. See that line? No small chance for you. See that line? Mark your face. Well, we're having a good time, yeah? Yeah, so right now I want to bring up stage the brain behind this fantastic event. I said it's nothing like any other. This event is its first of its kind, right? Have you attended any film festival? The one that they titled Lagos International Smartphone Film Festival? No, celebrating people that do wonders with smartphones. So put your hands together for this amazing individual, a brainy, a leader par excellence. Please make welcome the convener, the founder of Lagos International Smartphone Film Festival, the one and only Kayode Baker! If he's done an amazing job, I think we can give him an ovation. Ovation, please. Let's stand up. Let's stand up. Appreciate him. It's been 2 fantastic days. He's done excellently well. Let's encourage him. This is amazing. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. You know what you now do? You now take a pose for me, you know. Hey, 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 hey. Keep clapping, don't stop. Hey, hey. Go Kayode, go Kayode, go Kayode, go Kayode. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, CJ Nancy. Thank you so much, everybody. But party just is start. I have to put it out there. The party is just getting started. We have 2 more categories to give, and we have more food and more exciting drinks to give you. Okay, so if you want to drink exciting drinks, you're gonna use up my mouth talk. Right? We're gonna be giving you. Am I what now? I'm not playing though. All right. Big shout out to DJ Nazi, by the way. Big shout out to Tomi Owo. She's going to be serenading us with beautiful music today. And also we have Demichi. She's going to be performing as well today. But first things first, I want to bring forward my very special friend. In fact,
well, so far so good. The festival is going as planned. We asked for submissions from all across the world, and there were so many entries. So we selected the best 30 films in collaboration with Film Lab Africa, that's the British Council, and then we decided to showcase the best 30 films on the first day of the festival. Today is the second day. Like I said, we're trying to give value back to people. So the value we're trying to give back to people is having them to come and learn from our speakers. Well, at the moment, everything is solely funded, but we do have some good people that have come to donate, products and services and value by, sharing their knowledge with us. But in the future, we're looking to have major sponsors, help us with phones, help us with devices that we can use to train people and also film great content that we can showcase to the world. My advice to content creators is learn, 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 and collaborate. There's so many opportunities out there for people. I went to a film school, but most of the education I have today, I learned from the University of YouTube. Okay, so I spend hundreds of hours learning different principles and techniques of filmmaking on YouTube. So if you're out there and you're a young content creator or you're a young filmmaker, but you're stuck and you don't have money to afford a film school, just go down to YouTube, learn about the basics of filmmaking, and it's there.
A very quick one. I want us to take a moment to celebrate something very incredible before I dive into my section. In an economy where things are tough, Kayo, they don't go anywhere yet. In an economy where the cost of fuel will make you to reconsider your choices, in an economy where things are falling apart, a group of passionate individuals came together to put this event together, and not just to put it together for free. Please, a round of applause for Kayo again, please. Yes, a round of applause for all the team members that put this up. Yes, because we now live in a generation where we basically pay for everything. Even for you to understand what I'm saying today, you need to pay attention. There is pay inside. Things fall apart. I feel that novel was written at the very wrong time. Yes, when they write that novel, things never really fall apart. Now things come to fall apart. The cost of living is now too cost for the living. Even what goes around does not have transport to come around again. What goes around is stranded. Yes, to whom much is given, don't run. He ran away with the much that was given to him. Yes. To fill gas in this country now is not expensive. People are now cooking with hot temper. Yes, hot temper people they use cook now. Do you know that recently I stay alone on the island and I know the two cook. Yeah, I know the two cook that much. The only thing I cook is ideas. So I filled the 6 kg gas not too long ago. Today I said let me raise my gas cylinder up. I noticed the gas cylinder was very light. I want to believe I'm the one that is getting stronger. Don't be my gas they finish. Hello? Do you know in Nigeria at the moment to settle down as a young man don't cost? That's why I'm a stand-up comedian now. To settle down, if you plan to settle down, as soon as you have the plan to settle down, when they show you the list, you will stand up. Yes, guys now go to different family to collect different bride price lists. Compare like 3 different bride price lists. Check the one where cheap. This one cheap and she get good character. Me will marry this one. I'm telling you that even to whom much is given, don't run. He ran away with the much that was given to him. Yes. Do you know that if you have opportunity to reap the fruit of your labor now, no plant them again, no. Yes. If you plant them now, if you don't reap them, oh. Yes. If you have opportunity to reap the fruit of your labor, eat them. You get why? Make a why the sunshine is the same thing as iron your clothes immediately when NEPA bring light. Yes. Because NEPA can take light and you'll not be able to. Let me say this. In this hard economy, one of the ways to scale through is to leverage on a productive skill like smartphone videography. If you're a smartphone videographer here, please a round of applause for yourself. Yes. Let me tell you something. You see, instances in the Bible where God wants to change the life of people, He always asks them, what do you have? What can you do? When the widow woman that was in debt, Prophet Elijah asked her, what do you have? So you having the skill of smartphone videography is a lot of pain. And I can tell you, a lot of people are using this same phone to reply very dark man online. You can use it to make money. Yes, instead of using the same phone.
Well, public speaking is something I've been doing from a very young age, from as little as age 7. Then I grew to a point whereby I realized that this is my calling. I have a lot of things that the world need to hear from my mouth, and I won't just sit in my room to make them hear about it. Sorry, to make them hear of it. So I had to, at first, I love comedy, and I love anything that makes people laugh. Do you understand? So I started comedy, and at some point, I realized that it's not just about the comedy. I can also pass message while making people laugh. So I now became a motivational comedian. So what I do basically is reversed cliche and intellectual reality jokes. Let me break it down. So we have something like what goes around comes around. Do you understand? I'll come and tell you that based on the current economy of the country, what goes around does not have transport to come around again. You get? So I do reverse cliche. So my inspiration basically is from reality and I listen to good speakers also. I listen to motivational speakers. I listen to men of God, people that communicate positive messages. I pick what they say and add humor to it. That's just basically it. I read, I follow news, I watch videos. So I think I will say this to any upcoming comedian watching this, or for any comedian basically though. I think you are in the speaking industry, in an industry where you have to speak to people. So you need to always stay updated, know what is trending, know what is going on. Social media now is the new TV. Do you understand? When you carry your phone, you see information and all of that. So you digest the information and create something out of it. So that's basically it.
Alright, show them where you go. Hey. Thank you, beautiful girl. Thank you so much.
Remedy, thank you so much for putting this together, for bringing everybody. Shout out to Spencer. Shout out to Schofield from Smooth 98.1. Shout out to Shola Thompson. And shout out to our big partners, Nova Media. They literally held our hands this way, in putting together this event. Shout out to my special friend Louie. She also helped put together the small chops and everything that we're enjoying today. And also, shout out to my beautiful wife. Louie, we love you. So my wife and I literally sat down together. We watched, I can't even tell you how many videos we watched before we started passing on the videos to some of the judges. It was a very tasking, tedious thing to do, but finally we're here. And thank you to everyone who believed in the dream. Shout out to Director Maz. Director Maz is the man here wearing the Tiwa Amani. Shout out to Olumide. Olumide was the first person I told this idea to. I said, Olumide, I have an idea. I want us to build a website and start a film festival. Shout out to Arthur. Arthur is our brand manager. I sold the idea to him as well. Shout out to Terry. We call him Terry, but his name is Larry. Larry was the first person that worked on the blueprint. He started everything from scratch, and then he passed it on to Amani, and Amani set the ball rolling. Shout out to all our media partners. Shout out to Kiss FM. Shout out to Smooth 98.1. Shout out to Mainland Radio. Shout out to Rhythm 93.7 FM. Shout out to Mr. Moses, the head of production at Rhythm. Thank you so much. Shout out to Tolu. Tolu and I, if you want to watch some of the best entertainment content on TV, Silverbird today between 11 a.m. and 12. We always argue and tell people that our show is the best show on TV. So if you want to put a test to it, right? Watch our show on Monday and on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then call me if I'm a liar and let me know, okay? But our show is dope, and we want you to watch the show. Shout out to Louis, shout out to Makida, shout out to DJ Wills. DJ Wills is my mentor in DJing right now. He's teaching me how to DJ. And shout out to all my friends from Unilag Radio that came through as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Shout out to all the volunteers, from Steph down to Enoch, down to Richard, down to Balkis, down to Keaton, down to Malik. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Shout out to Tayo. Tayo, I told him once about the idea, and he brought the vision. Shout out to Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi, literally shot our commercial for free. And he lends us all his equipment as well. So thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. There's some exciting drinks that were given, okay? I'm not gonna give them names, but if you wanna have fun with us and be part of the exciting drinks, it's all there. Shout out to our partners from Channels TV and TVC. Thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate you. Guys, have fun. God bless you. See you next year.
We sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel GoldmyneTV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.